you bring up Brian Kelly and you bring up LSU. They've allowed the least amount of points through the first 3 games, I believe, since 2017. Blake Baker, year 2, that thing's clearly starting to take it. It's interesting you say that because Brian Kelly got after a reporter after the game for asking about the offense. He's like, well, wait a second, we just went out there and won. Like, we went out there and we played to win the game, channeling his Herm Edwards. I'm surprised how sometimes Garrett Nussmeier looks the way that he does, but it's clear to your point, like LSU is like, all right, we might have the best defense in the country, and that's just what we're going to ride right now. They picked off DJ Lagway 5 times.
Yeah, and at this point last year, they had one of the worst defenses in the country. But, spending a lot of time with Brian Kelly, for those who don't know, I interview him every Monday on our afternoon show. I was with him yesterday morning, Matt, in Baton Rouge, and he's said this, but he said it again. He said, "I knew I had a problem on defense. I went out 2 years ago and got Blake Baker, and then we went out into the portal and found our way to almost overnight an elite defense, and that's the difference. That's going to keep them in every game." And at some point, the offense is going to start clicking, and I really think LSU is going to be a very dangerous team.
Right now, they're ranked 3rd. They jumped up quite a bit after the Clemson win, which we'll get into that in a minute. I don't know how good that looks now. But either way, LSU keeps winning. They win at home. And it was kind of forecasted a little bit, Paul. I don't think we're really surprised that it happened, but Billy Napier – hitched his wagon to DJ Lagway and says, listen, this is the guy that's going to be the foundation of the rebuild here at Florida. I think DJ's really, really talented, but 5 interceptions on the road in a low-scoring game where it was clear LSU's offense wasn't going to do much. That's a backbreaker for the belief in that the quarterback is the guy that's going to make Florida good again. To kind of see that, if you were hinging any hope on it, if you're a Gator fan, I mean, you've got to be a little bit demoralized in that the one guy you were pinning your hopes on, not the coach, the quarterback, had one of those games.
Yeah, and just to repeat, the schedule is their enemy, and they're 1 game into the 4-game schedule that many thought would undo them. The schedule reads Miami next week, Texas after a bye week, and then at Texas A&M. Texas now looks like the easiest of those 4, and they're already 1 down, having dropped the USF game. So I mean, they're in nomad's land right now, Matt. Even if they won all 3 of these games, they still have 2 losses with Georgia, Tennessee, and others on the schedule. Their path is very challenged, and I mean the odds. I'm not going to sugarcoat it on your podcast here. I mean, Billy Napier is not coming back next year. I mean, I don't see it. I don't see a path for him.
Yeah, and then you wonder. It goes into this when the coaching hire and fire process takes place. So they do it with Napier, with Dan Mullen, who by the way is 3-0 at UNLV, and they have to start over, and he's got to build his own roster. And you have to do this churn, and you have to figure it out. Now, it's different than it was back in the day because, we've been talking about, you can replace your portal with 70 players like Rich Rod did at West Virginia and go and win the backyard brawl yesterday. But to start over again, like now you're just doing this cycle over and over again where, okay, Billy Napier, he's 20-21 through his first 41 games. So now we're gonna do it all over again.
But here's the problem, though. I agree with you. That has been their Waterloo. But when you're sitting there at 20-21, and I think it's something like 15-21 in the SEC, how do you make a case not to do it over again? Now, the one thing I was at the Dallas airport yesterday watching football. About to pop back here, and a guy yelled at me behind the bar, and I said, so he's wearing a Gator hat, okay? I said, so what do you think? He said, we got to get rid of Napier. I said, who do you want? Which is always the most candidate. Then you can talk about this. And I knew what the answer was. He said, Lane, got to grab him. Now, That's great. That was the one last year, but we're about to hear on this E60 in a couple of days that Lane Kiffin is entrenched in Oxford. He didn't take the Auburn job because his daughter Landry just moved there and begged him not to. So now is he going to walk away from what's a really good job and a really great place to go to a place that has won very infrequently in history?
Yeah, because at this point, like, what are you looking at? Do you know? Here we go. Damn it, I didn't want to get this, but here we go. Are you looking at a guy that you know wants to get back into coaching and John Gruden? Like, are you just going, because you're right. Like, what's Lane's motivation to go to a place that keeps dumping their coaches after 3 to 4 years, and a coach that took you to 3 straight New Year's 6 games, an SEC championship, and almost beat Alabama? So you're comfortable at Ole Miss. You can get anybody you want. They have some money, and you're contending for a playoff every year. Do you go get John Gruden, like a guy that you know wants to get back into coaching? Do you say Alex Golis, South Florida, exciting offense, former Tennessee offensive coordinator? Again, I get it. Billy Napier's still there, but if we're going to have this conversation, let's have it. I mean, what do you do? Because I just don't know that Lane is motivated. Like you said, there's something coming out about it in that story. I don't think he's motivated to look there.
Not right now, but Lane's always a year ago, as I told you, he would have taken it, but it's a year later. You don't know. I think all of us like Billy Napier, but I think it's hard to make a strong case if you're Scott Strickland. Why do you keep him? Because at least Saturday night there wasn't about 10 things Billy Napier did wrong that you can point to. That's usually the case after a Billy Napier loss. So I mean, it was a clean loss if there's such a thing, but it was still the second loss of the season, and the schedule is just suffocating him.
I feel bad. I feel bad for him. I like, knowing what I know about the Florida job in and out, as well as you do. I feel bad because it's like you were given the keys to a power job in the SEC, and I don't know that it's going to work. And here's what I'd say about this. If and when jobs come open, like I think the Virginia Tech job is going to come open sooner than later, with them just getting boat raced by Old Dominion yesterday, which, by the way, Paul, we can play this game for a second. If and when that job does come open, and I like Brent Pry, he's a good defensive mind. Can we just go ahead and just pencil Jimbo Fisher in at Virginia Tech? I mean, that's match made in heaven. Jimbo Fisher at Virginia Tech. Again, I hate placing people in jobs that are still taken, but anyway, my point being, go ahead.
Well, Pry's and Brent's gone. I mean, that's not going to be a factor. What's the famous saying? Almost heaven, Virginia Tech. No, that's West Virginia, but it's close enough. You want this, you got that. No way, watch them walk right